Hey guys, how's it going today? Hope you're all doing really well. In today's video, I want to give you a quick tour of the front of house booth that we have here at The Gathering Place. So I am currently the worship creative guy at The Gathering Place in Lexington, Kentucky. And we are a church plant that actually just launched in September of 2022. Man, it's 2023 now. We just launched September of 2022, and by the time December came around, we got the gift of getting into a space, being able to take over the rent on an existing church facility that we were able to make into our own. So came in here and did some major overhaul of a lot of the systems in here, fixed lighting and things like that, and set up some of our own gear. So I'm here in the front of house booth right now. I'm gonna spin this around. You can see this is the room. And this is where our front of house desk is. So I have our main desk right here centered in the room. This is the Midas M32. I will always choose the M32 over the X32, and I still hate the operating system on both, but it's a great sounding board and we've made it work for us. So that's the center area right here in our booth. On the left over here is where we have our ProPresenter and our lighting software. Now, I've talked about how I have this set up before in a previous video, but this is the laptop. It is one of the newer MacBook Pros. The 16-inch M1, I believe, is what this is. It is running both ProPresenter here, as well as LightKey on a separate monitor. So they're all both running on the same computer. And ProPresenter I keep on this main window here, and I have LightKey over here. We're not actually really having to do anything in LightKey once we're running our services. It's all automated by ProPresenter, and you can see that in a previous video, which I think would be up in this corner. ProPresenter over here, and I have right here 2 USB-Cs coming out. One of them goes to this monitor. One of them goes to this pluggable unit back here. And we got this installed on a recommendation of someone who watched one of my videos that we were having problems because the M1 MacBooks only allow 2 external monitors supported. So this pluggable unit is super helpful. So with this one cable running to this, I have my audio cable that sends out of the headphones on here and runs over to the X32. I have one USB for a mouse, just makes it easier to use instead of the trackpad on the laptop. And then this USB goes down to our NTEC. You're not gonna be able to see this, but that little glowing light right there, that is our NTEC DMX unit that is under, that sends out all of our commands from LightKey to our, what's it called? To our DMX splitter that's backstage, and then sends up to all of our lighting control over there as well. So that is all automated right here. So this one goes to the mouse, this one goes down to the NTEC, and that sends a DMX line back to our splitter. Then we have our 3 HDMIs coming out of this, and one of them goes to our confidence monitor that is back on this wall. We're gonna put up a projector and project on this screen at some point, but this is a pretty large TV, so it's able to be seen pretty well. So one goes back to our confidence monitor. It's just an HDMI cable at the moment, but we do have it set up to be able to send. I have an SDI cable run so that we can put a projector up there someplace. One HDMI goes over to our video setup over here. We've got the ATEM Mini. There is, underneath the table, there are 2 Blackmagic HDMI to SDI converters. So out of the box, so one of the HDMI goes into the SDI converter and comes into channel number 4. That's where we have our CG in there. And then I have it keyed out. I'll talk about how I have that set up in a future video. The other HDMI goes into the HDMI SDI splitter and sends a cable up and splits to our projector. So there's one projector right there, there's one projector right there, and it goes to our 2 screens, and those 2 screens are 6 feet by 10.5 feet. we installed those too. Originally they had two like 80-inch TVs hanging up there, and we took our projectors that we had from using at the theater, and we're able to put up there and are projecting onto those screens, which is awesome. But this is the booth. On this screen is where I have our multi-view for the ATEM. This computer does two things. It's our streaming computer. We're not streaming yet, but we will be at some point. This computer right now, it's connected so that we have control over the ATEM that way on the software there. It also, I have a feed coming out of our M32 USB into this computer, and I'm recording all of our channels into GarageBand so that then I can go back and post-mix the system or post-mix the audio and join that together with our recording. That's how we're doing that right now, as we're not live streaming. Also on this desk, we have all of our wireless microphone receivers right here. We have 4 Audix handheld units. I don't remember the code. I will put that in the description below. So it's a dual wireless receiver, so 4 there. And then we also have 4 of the Shure, I think they're the BLX units. 2 of them we use for our backup for a pastor and a host microphone. We also have 2 of them that go along with these that we use for our worship stuff. And then this unit up here is our pastor's wireless headset mic. These we purchased when we started at the theater, when we took over the space here. These were 2 units that the previous church had that we got to keep as well. So was this wireless setup. We had another wireless headset mic, but this one's better. So we kept this stuff and are using it here. Going across the table, on the left, right when you walk into the booth over here is our CG with ProPresenter and Light Key running over here. Our mics sit right there, right next to our M32 console. And then our streaming/recording setup is over here with the ATEM Mini and a MacBook Air right there. We also have on this desk in the back, this is one of the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4Ks that we use for our main shot that goes HDMI out to a converter and into the ATEM Mini as well. And we have a second Pocket Cinema 4K over there getting another shot that way. So this is the main booth here at the gathering place. Some power and drawer stuff under there on a rack hanging right there. But this is the spot. So then we got our speakers up there are currently on sticks. There are some Turbo Sound portable speakers that we were able to get when we launched. Hopefully at some point in time we'll be able to fly some speakers in here instead. We're also talking about probably pretty soon building our own acoustical paneling in here. It's pretty live in here. There's a pretty solid echo that we're working with our reverb on, that we're trying to get that adjusted. But we also have 4 of the Turbo Sound subs on the floor up front as well. And our rack is in the back that has our stage box for the M32. It also has our DMX splitter back there, some power and all that sort of stuff. And then it's all routed up across the ceiling, over that beam that's up there, and then down this wall and into the system back here. So that's the booth. It's a pretty simple setup for a smaller launching church. This is the type of thing that you'd have sitting at tables or a little booth in the back of the high school auditorium, whatever it might be. Great setup for us right now. We're working through some things to be able to get to the point where we are able to really live stream and not just record and upload later. And some of those different pieces, getting acoustical panels up on the wall will help with that so that we can help our mix come out of these properly. I do have an aux feed coming out of the board directly into the ATEM as well. It's not perfectly set up yet. That's why I'm recording all of the channels and doing a mix later until I can get this right. And then we'll be able to really start live streaming with that and running all that properly. But we've got just 2 guys that sit back here, well, a guy and a girl, that sit back here and run these stations for us. automated there. We just record here, but hopefully we'll get all this running. So I'll get more in depth into each of the stations and what they're doing, how I have them set up in subsequent videos, but hope that was at least interesting to see what we have going on here. And yeah, if you've got any questions, leave them in the comments below. Do all the things that YouTube tells you to do, like, subscribe, all that jazz. And we'll see you guys next time.